Normal drinkers. They're the type of people that say that they can just take it or leave it. Or they're the type of people that have just one or two drinks and then seem to go home and go about their life as normal. Well, how exactly can you become a normal drinker? Well, that's exactly what we're going to be covering in this video today, so make sure to stay tuned. Hey guys, Leon here from SoberClear.com. Now, just before we get into this video, if you want to get access to the brand new video training showing you how to apply first principles thinking to get 100% control of drinking alcohol, then make sure to click the link in the description. In that video, I'm going to be sharing how I discovered first principles thinking, the 5 mistakes that 95% of drinkers make, and as well as the 2 phases of becoming sober clear. So make sure to check that video out after this one. So very quickly guys, I want to just share a few things with you about how I used to want to be a normal drinker. So as you guys know, my journey to stopping drinking was a roller coaster of a time. It was like this 10-year roller coaster of these ups and these downs. Now, during the time of trying to stop drinking, a lot of the times I would use willpower. I would just say to myself that I'm going to stop drinking for 20 days, 30 days, a week, whatever it was. And because I was using willpower, I still believed that alcohol was difficult to stop drinking. I still believed that it was a good thing. I still believed that alcohol was a genuine pleasure in life. It was something that you should drink and you should enjoy, and it helps you relax, it helps give you confidence. I believed that. So basically, every single time that I attempted to get rid of alcohol, I still saw it as a good thing. So naturally, as a result of that, if I was to go to a bar with my friends and my friends were drinking, I would always look at them with this feeling of envy. I would have this feeling inside of me that was like, I'd always feel a little bit uncomfortable because for some reason I believed that I was the odd one out. I was the person that was doing something abnormal, and the people around me drinking were doing the normal thing. They were the normal drinkers. And I have friends that are successful. I have a friend there, and I'm not going to name his name, but he has a great life. He's got everything going. He's good looking. He's got a great career. He's an investor, and he's got everything going for him. And he is what you would class as a normal drinker. He has 1 glass of wine with his meal, and he goes home. And I remember I used to look at this man in envy because he's really well put together. And then he can just have 1 or 2 drinks and nothing bad happens, right? And I used to look at him and I used to kind of justify my drinking saying that, well, he drinks. But I didn't really drink like him. I would usually go a little bit more out of control. I would drink more regularly than him. And he just kind of seemed to have it all together. And I used to want to be like him. Now, this friend of mine, he's one particular example. There are obviously multiple other people that I used to probably look at and wish that I could be like them. Now, I no longer desire to be like these people. It all changed for me. And as you guys probably know already, what I did was I stopped drinking using willpower, and I went to a New Year's Eve party. And it was at this New Year's Eve party where I saw all the people around me drinking. So I'd not drank for 9 months using nothing but willpower. I go to this New Year's Eve party, everybody's drinking, everybody's laughing, everybody's having what looks like a good time. And I saw that everybody had a drink in their hand. Nobody was smashed, everybody was, merry, right? And I looked at these people and I felt envy. They were normal people, they were put together, everyone was dressed nice, and they were all drinking. And I thought, nah, I shouldn't be sober, I should be like them. I want to be like these normal drinkers. And I bought back into the idea that alcohol was going to do something good for me. I really thought that by drinking, it was going to enhance the whole situation. It was going to enhance the whole occasion. And what happened is the willpower ran out that night. I ended up drinking, which led me on a pretty slippery downward slope. And what ended up happening after, however long it was, 9 months of drinking and binging and basically dismantling all the progress that I'd made whilst I was sober, well, it got to a point where enough was enough. And that's where I started doing the first principles thinking, is where I started breaking down all of the reasons why I drank, and this is like a key part of it, was looking at normal drinkers and really getting an understanding of why I wanted to be like them. Why did I want to consume a little bit of poison? Why did I want to have just 1 or 2? What beliefs and what ideas was I holding on to that made me want to do that? And basically in my story, there was a point where everything clicked. And it was like this intense clarity where I no longer wanted to be a normal drinker. Now, do bear with me. I know the title of this video may have been a bit misleading, but I really need you to understand this paradigm that I now experience. So just bear with me. Now, what we've got to understand is, how does society view a normal drinker? If we go onto like a government website or even like the Harvard medical website, whatever it is, all these websites are going to say that the goal of drinking is to do so in moderation. That's the advice that we get given to us. If we go to a doctor and we tell them that we're drinking too much, what they'll do is they'll look at the recommended daily allowance, and you'll be drinking more than that, and they'll say, well, you should cut down to the recommended daily allowance. And we know that this advice just falls on deaf ears. I don't know anybody that kind of has drank a lot and then said that they're going to go to the recommended daily allowance and successfully done it. It's pretty terrible advice. Now, this is the crazy thing. We think that drinking alcohol is normal. Do you think that a heroin addict or somebody that smokes crack cocaine wants to take a normal amount of that drug? If you met a heroin addict and they said that what they're going to do is they're going to now only take heroin on a Friday night and they're only going to have one shot, what would you think? What would you say? Well, you'd know that that person is delusional. You know that they're very likely to slip back into the same pit that they were already in. And the fact that they still have the idea that they want to be a normal heroin user, well, we'd all look at that and we'd know that it's complete insanity. Now, this is the problem. We live in a world where being a normal drinker is in fact a normal behavior. Drinking an addictive drug, drinking a poison is deemed as normal. It's deemed as okay. Now, what I'm going to say to you is going to shock you. The only reason why a normal drinker drinks alcohol is to feel like a non-drinker feels like all of the time. So one of these normal drinkers, they're going to feel a bit of discomfort, right? They're going to go out and they might feel this little bit of discomfort. They're not fully able to relax. They feel this sense of agitation and just something's not quite right. And what the normal drinker does is they have a drink. And all of a sudden, that feeling goes away and they feel relaxed. They feel more confident. They feel more courageous. And what they're doing is they're basically removing the discomfort of a very subtle craving. They're removing the discomfort of something not feeling quite right. And they don't even recognize it as a craving. So they have the drink and then all of a sudden, that agitated feeling then goes away and they feel okay. Now, what we've got to realize is that before any of us ever tasted a drop of alcohol, we felt like that all the time. We never felt this agitated feeling where we couldn't relax properly in a social situation, where we couldn't kind of just chill. We never felt like that. We just felt confident. If you think of a birthday party, do those kids need alcohol to run around and play? Of course they don't. They just have this natural confidence because that's really what we're born with. Then what happens is we have a drink, then we have a few more, and then we get stuck into this cycle and the agitation and the craving increases, and then we start drinking and we get this false association in our head that alcohol is actually helping us relax and relieve stress. Now, a normal drinker is no different. The normal drinker still thinks that drinking alcohol is going to provide a benefit, it's going to provide pleasure to them, which really is a pretty sad reality. Remember, the only reason why the normal drinker is drinking the alcohol is to feel how a non-drinker feels all of the time. So really, the trick to being a normal drinker is to reframe the situation. It's to see the normal drinker as somebody that's addicted to a drug. It's not to look at that person with envy. It's not to look at that person and think, damn, I wish I could be like them. I did that for the decade of trying to find a solution to my own problem. I tried to look at those people. I tried to be like them. I tried to have one or two, and it always ended up in a pit. Because the problem was that I always saw alcohol as a good thing. I saw it as a beneficial thing, something that was going to actually do something good for me. And really, the trick is to reframe the way you view alcohol. It's to build that paradigm where you see it without the illusion. Just the fact that you clicked on this video means that you want to be a normal drinker. You still see some value in alcohol. So what you've really got to do is you've got to break things down from first principles. You've got to apply that mental model. You've got to use first principles thinking, where you logically look at all of the pieces of addiction, all of the neuroscience, all of the marketing, all of the media. You bring everything together to develop this paradigm where you no longer want to drink. So when you see that person having one or two drinks, you don't look at that person and think, I wish I could be like them. I wish I could have one or two. No, you look at that person and you feel sorry for them. If they knew what you knew, if they felt how you felt as a non-drinker, they wouldn't want to drink. The only reason why they're drinking is to feel how you would feel all of the time. And that's exciting. You should feel excited about that. Because at the end of the day, guys, we all want to feel good. We all want to feel happy. We all want to feel positive. And alcohol is not helping people do that. It's doing the complete opposite. It's keeping them stuck from being who they want to be. When you become a non-drinker, you will feel more confident, you'll feel more courageous, and you're just going to feel better overall. Anyway, guys, bit of a different video today. Hope you enjoyed that one. Do make sure to click the link in the description. And if you click the videos on the screen now, you can learn more about the one thing that got me to stop drinking forever, as well as some information about anxiety and alcohol. Thanks a lot.